What's going on, everybody? It is the Full Throttle Hog, and in today's video, I'm going to go over a change of your mindset and a little tip and trick to help your riding abilities. This is whether you are a brand new rider or maybe a salty dog out there. I think this tip is going to help you out. Let's go kickstands up. Let's get started. Hey guys, if you are new to the channel, just know that we are a motovlogging traveling channel, and we do things from bike reviews to product reviews, and I dabble in some cinematic style videos for your viewing pleasure. And from time to time, I throw in these little tips and hacks to hopefully help you out. So if you're into anything like that and you haven't already, hit subscribe down below. If you like the production of this video, go ahead and hit the like button. It will help spread this out to others. So for those that don't know, the wife, after 21 years of being a passenger, decided in 2021 that it was time for her to get her own motorcycle license. She went through the motorcycle riding safety course, and it's just a couple day course. They teach you the basics, and then you can go apply for your license at the DMV, and away you go. So in December of this year on Christmas, I surprised her with her own Harley Davidson.
Merry Christmas!
Oh my gosh, what in the world?
It's an 883 super low, and we've been going out on almost a daily basis to get her more saddle time and get her more experience and more comfortable with riding. Throughout this process, it made me realize a couple things. One is that there are many tips and tricks that I learned years ago that I completely forgot about, or they just are subconscious thoughts. And there's a couple of these tips that now resonate with me that I am using once again just to increase my riding capabilities. It's all about motorcycle safety, and these things can help you as a newer rider or somebody that's been riding for a long time. Spring is here. There are people that are de-winterizing their bike. They're excited to get back out on the road, and maybe at the end of 2021, before they had to put the bike down for a little hibernation time, they are getting back on the bike. It's always crucial after spending some time off the saddle to go and refresh yourself on some of the emergency techniques, maybe emergency braking, rediscovering that friction zone, and just taking some time with it to reacclimate yourself to the motorcycle. And new riders are being born daily, literally daily. I would say that just getting her into that motorcycle safety riding course, this is before gas prices took a huge jump, it was very hard to get her in there because they were all sold out. I think there's going to be more motorcycle riders in 2022 than ever before, especially with these skyrocketing gas prices. I think a lot of people are going to be apt to switch over to a motorcycle or learn how to ride one. So let me know down below, are you a new rider? Are you an experienced rider? Or are you maybe an experienced rider teaching another new rider how to ride? I'd love to hear from you. So let's get into this mindset and tip that I think is going to increase your riding capabilities. Now, this is all about the friction zone of your motorcycle. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about the friction zone, and I think it comes back to my generation and possibly your generation when you were learning to drive a car. Chances are you learned to drive a car that was manual, and whether it was friends or family that was teaching you how to drive this car, there was a mantra that they kept pushing into your brain, which was stop riding the clutch. So in an automobile, same thing as a motorcycle as far as how the mechanics work, but there is a big difference when it comes to a motorcycle versus a car. In the majority of motorcycles out there, the clutch is wet compared to a car. The clutch is dry. So with a wet clutch on a motorcycle, you can ride that clutch in that friction zone for a long time without causing any harm or minimal harm to the clutch system. Nothing that would ever be noticeable. So as I've been trying to help teach the wife how to ride a motorcycle and increase her confidence level, one of the things that really jumped out to me was that as soon as the friction zone would hit from a dead stop or at a stoplight, she would then start to roll the bike and then dump the clutch. It is a very stuttery move. You guys are probably all familiar with it, but this mental trick will help you along the way. And that is, I want you to think of a soundboard, okay? Just a regular soundboard in like a sound studio or something maybe you've seen on TV. And typically it's got a dial that you don't turn the dial like this, but you push that dial up to increase its volume. That's what I want the mentality to be of the clutch. Now, at maximum volume, that's as high as the speakers can go. When you're riding your bike, and especially when you're starting out at an intersection from a dead stop, start thinking of the mentality of the soundboard. Ride that clutch like you would be increasing the volume on that soundboard. Never would you just spike it to 10 and say that's good to go, because it would not be aesthetically pleasing to the ear or to your audience. So when you're riding the motorcycle, if you gradually push that volume up, and maybe it gets to a point where you have to bring it down a little bit before going back up, you want to think of it the same way on your clutch. Ride it longer than what you think. This is going to dramatically help you out, especially at slower speeds. When you are maneuvering at slow speeds, doing U-turns, doing cone maneuvers, you want to be riding that clutch and keeping it in that friction zone, which means that if we're using that soundboard example and that mentality of the soundboard, we're not going all the way to 10. We are going to keep it in that comfortable volume of about 8, and that is engaging in that friction zone. You have movement and propulsion from the bike, but you are not just dumping that clutch. The faster you learn to maneuver inside that friction zone, the friction zone is not just to engage and be done with it. You need to play around in that friction zone, especially at slower speeds. Get really comfortable with it. There's some drills out there that you can do. For example, you can go into a parking lot and try to participate in what's called the world's slowest race, where you basically pick a straight line and you try to go 40 yards as slow as possible. This is a good way to practice that technique, and you can also work on it when you're making U-turns and when you're doing figure eights and things like that. Be mindful of the friction zone. Be mindful of the volume that you're using in that friction zone, and I think this is going to help you out. I want you to try this trick, and I want you to let me know down in the comments if it worked, if it's something you've thought about, or something that you probably learned long ago, forgot about, and maybe want to reintroduce it to your riding abilities now. But that is going to be the tip for today. I want to thank you guys for watching, and until next time, you ride safe, you be safe, and we'll catch you on the next one.